Hi friends, this is Angelica with Scrapbook.com. Today we are making 3 Christmas cards using some exclusive products, and I have a 4th card to share with you at the end of this video. The first product is the Berry Christmas die set. This is a large die set. There's 58 pieces, and there are illustrations on the back to show you what the dies do. I'm also going to be using some colors from 3 different cardstock paper pads, and I picked the color theme to be pinks and greens. I decided on what dies I wanted to use from the die set, and I actually put them in a stack and sort tray so I can keep all those little pieces together. I'm also die cutting with the Spellbinders and Scrapbook.com Platinum Scout, so I can die cut right on my workstation and really pay attention to those small dies. The die that I'm using right now is for the car, and I actually want there to be a window in the car, so I'm going to die cut the car and window together. So I have a window for one of the bears to peek out of. Now, I'm not going to glue all of the pieces on screen, but there are a couple pieces that I am going to glue just to show you how I put them together. So we're going to start first with the trees. Now, the tree has 4 pieces to it, and the biggest piece is on the bottom, and I went from a dark evergreen all the way up to a light mint green. And for each piece, I just added a little bit of glue at the top of that piece and attached the next die cut to it until I made it to the top. There's also a small trunk to glue the tree onto, and there are embellishments if you want to decorate the tree that's in the die set, but I am not using those dies today. I'm going to keep these cards pretty clean and simple. Just going to add that star onto the tree to finish it, and now we're going to move on to the car. So I've already put the bears together off screen, and isn't that bear so cute peeking out of the car? So I'm going to get him into position, and I'll add a little bit of glue behind the bear to attach him to the card front. Now I did back the car right here with bright pink cardstock, but I decided that I just didn't really like the way that looked. So I'm going to change that color in a little bit. But right now I'm just getting that bear in place. I did snip his legs off, and now I'm going to put the rest of the pieces on the car. So the headlights, the license plate, even the cute little tires. And I die cut the tires with Concord and Ninth brown cardstock. This card is really easy to put together. I just followed the illustration on the back of the packaging. I had a little bit more trouble with the bears, and I couldn't see well on the package, so I ended up just going over to Scrapbook.com's gallery and looked to see how others had put the bears together, and that really helped me figure out what eyes went to what bear, because there are, I think, 3 or 4 sets of eyes in this set. So if you don't know or are having problems putting your bears together, be sure to head over and check out how other people did it over in the gallery. It really helped me out a lot. Now we're going to make backgrounds, and I'm going to use the Geometric Snowflake to make my backgrounds. Now this is a really delicate snowflake, really delicate stencil, so I am going to spray the back of the stencil outside with pixie spray. This is a slightly tacky repositional spray. Now before I put that on my panel, I always put it on printer paper first. I put my stencils that I spray on printer paper first and remove it a couple times, and that's going to take off a lot of the tackiness and not leave it on your panel that you're working on. So that is why I had the printer paper out. It's just a good habit to get into, because the pixie spray sometimes will get really aggressive on the panel you're working on. So now we're moving on to adding color to the snowflakes, and I am using Tattered Road Distress Oxide ink. And the reason why I picked a light pink ink is because I'm going to add a clear glitter paste over the top. This is Moonstone Glitter Paste by Nuvo, and it is clear, but the glitter is iridescent, and when it is spread over Distress Oxide ink, it turns a nice, really pretty pink. The paste mixed really nicely with the ink, and I just was able to get really pretty pink snowflake backgrounds from this panel. And I ended up doing two large panels using mixed media paper, Scrapbook.com's mixed media paper, and then cut those down into 4 panels. Isn't that beautiful? I just love how these backgrounds turned out. Now we're back to that card, and I do want to close the back of the card, so I die cut gray cardstock, and I'm using 1mm foam adhesive to attach the front of the card to the back, and that way it closes the window. That light gray was really hard for me to see on my white mat, so I'm going to pull in a different color background for me to put the car onto, and that just helped me be able to see the gray better and get the car on it straight. I also cut down those panels and put them on card bases. So I'm going to do 3 layouts right onto the card bases, trying to figure out how I wanted to arrange all these die cuts together. And also this helps me figure out what kind of sentiments I want to use. I decided on using Wonder and Delight stamp set for my sentiments. There are some smaller sentiments that I thought would look great on the cards. So I'm going to stamp them with Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink, and I like to use a sponge dauber just to spread the ink out evenly on these smaller stamps. And I love stamping with Distress Oxide inks. They just have a nice crisp finish, and this Vintage Photo color is really pretty with the pastels. There is a coordinating die set for the stamp set, and I used the dies to die cut the sentiments, and they're now ready to be put on the card bases. So it's time to assemble the cards. I am not going to be using glue on any of the pieces on the cards just because of the glitter paste. There is a little bit of raised areas from the snowflakes, and I wasn't sure how the glue would be on top of the glitter paste. So I just stuck with dry adhesive. I used 1mm foam adhesive on a few of the pieces for each card, and then backed the rest of the pieces with double-sided adhesive from the adhesive roll. It would have been easier to use glue, and now watching this video, I do kind of wish I used glue because it would have been easier to wiggle those pieces into place. But you know, it is what it is. I did take a picture of these panels before I took the die cuts off of them. So that is something I do quite often. I'll do a quick layout first. I use my phone to take a picture, and then I have a reference on how to put the panels together because I always forget the arrangements that I made. So phone, always use it when you need some help to remember how you put your panels together. I'm almost done with this bear in the presents, and then we're going to move on to the last card with the car on it, and I used 1mm foam adhesive to attach the car to the card base, and that way it gave me some room to add the presents behind the car. Now I'm using a 0 center ruler to make sure I put all of the pieces in the center of each card. So that's a tool that I use quite often, and it really came in handy for this project. This card was my favorite card that I made out of the 3 until I realized I had a lot of die cuts left over and I still had one more snowflake panel to work with. So I did make a 4th card off screen, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But first, we're going to take one last look at these cards because I want you to see how the 1mm foam adhesive does not make a lot of bulk. So you can see how thin the cards are. I mean, they're going to be just fine in the mail, and they're just going to take regular postage stamps because there's not a lot of height to each card. And that's why I love 1mm foam adhesive so much. It's just the perfect size for me. Now I'm going to bring in that 4th card now, and this one actually turned out to be my favorite card that I made. I love clean and simple, and this is just about as clean and simple as it could get. The arrangement of presents is so fun, and then a really simple sentiment to finish the card. I'm just in love with it. So all of the products that I used in this video will be down in the description, and I will also leave links to my gallery at Scrapbook.com, my blog, and my YouTube channel. That is all that I have for today. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care, friends.